Yeah, YB reached out to me after that stream, and YB was just like, yo, Act, yo, I love you, man, but yo, you can't let these motherfuckers play with my name. Respectfully to NLE Choppa, I would just like to know, are you talking gangster shit that you want to get into it with this? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, YoungBoy's attracted to down to kill and die. I don't think NLE Choppa is talking that energy. I think he's talking about artistically.
That's what he did. That's what he did. That's what he did.
NLE Choppa, listen to me. You can't go walk the runway with that little walk. You remember that walk you had? I think I'm a bad. You can't come back to that walk.
And Catrell is evil, and he's a bad influence. So you want to go and put that man on his knees.
Yeah, YoungBoy reached out to me after that stream, and he was just like, yo, Act, I love you, man, but you can't let these people play with my name. Respectfully to NLE Choppa, I just want to know, are you talking that gangster energy, or is this purely artistic? Because honestly, YoungBoy's crew is serious, but I don't think Choppa is coming with that level of violence. It seems more artistic. Choppa's recent moves have been questionable. You remember that runway walk he had? That wasn't a good look. Cray is an influence, but putting someone on their knees? That's another level. NLE Choppa just dropped another NBA YoungBoy diss, and it's straight up embarrassing. This Memphis rapper, who once called YoungBoy his favorite artist, is now out here throwing wild shots every few weeks like he's begging for attention. Behind the over-the-top dance moves and random spiritual talk, something deeper is happening. Choppa's career numbers are sliding while YoungBoy keeps winning, and now he thinks the only way to get noticed is by going after the king. The story of how a former fan became YoungBoy's loudest critic is filled with broken deals, failed friendships, and a desperate reach for relevance. Social media exploded over Choppa's new track, Hello Revenge, with fans asking why he refuses to leave YoungBoy alone. We're here to separate truth from lies and show the real drama behind this situation. Back in October 2025, everything clicked. NLE Choppa dropped his first YoungBoy diss in years, surprising everyone. But this wasn't a real street conflict. It was desperation dressed up as tough talk. His recent streams were barely hitting 1 million plays, while YoungBoy was pulling tens of millions effortlessly. Choppa realized saying YoungBoy's name was a shortcut to attention, and he doubled down. This all started back in 2018. NLE Choppa was a young Memphis artist looking up to YoungBoy. He openly admired him, remixed his style, and built parts of his early sound from YoungBoy's blueprint. The delivery, storytelling, even his stage name, No Love Entertainment, echoing Never Broke Again. Choppa's admiration was real, studying YoungBoy's catalog and creating his own versions of tracks like Through the Rain. He wanted the same impact, the same ability to turn real struggles into music that connected worldwide. Tensions began in March 2019 when people around Choppa spoke recklessly about YoungBoy on Instagram Live. YoungBoy responded, and Choppa immediately tried to calm things down, expressing his respect. But the damage was done. Respect is everything in YoungBoy's world, and letting your crew talk reckless makes you look weak. Later, when YoungBoy faced legal issues, Choppa dropped Free YoungBoy, showing genuine support and admiration. But once Choppa started gaining attention, things changed. In June 2019, a situation with Quando Rondo in Houston escalated when Choppa's crew confronted him. Violence broke out, and Choppa later tried to smooth things over privately, which drew criticism. He began affiliating with people opposed to YoungBoy, including King Von and Lil Durk's circle. When Von tragically passed in 2020, Choppa posted emotional messages, showing loyalty, but it also complicated his alliances. By January 2022, YoungBoy dropped Bring the Hook, dissing King Von. Choppa took sides publicly, responding to Reese's tweet, which put him directly against Baton Rouge and tied him to Chicago. This single action shifted his image and set off a series of events that changed everything. YoungBoy's next track, Know Like I Know, was chilling, mentioning Choppa personally and warning him without holding back. YoungBoy brought up personal, career, and psychological angles, making it clear he was watching every move. Chopper went silent for 2 years, choosing not to respond directly. During this time, he shifted his image completely, promoting meditation, healthy living, and positivity, a stark contrast to his previous tough persona. This transformation showed that YoungBoy's words hit deep, forcing Chopper to reconsider his path. Meanwhile, YoungBoy continued to thrive, unaffected by Chopper's attempts at drama. In 2024, Chopper reignited the feud, likely motivated by YoungBoy's massive tour success. YoungBoy had just finished a tour that reportedly made around $75 million, sold out arenas across the country, and kept his name trending everywhere. Every new release was racking up millions of streams, proving his dominance in the game. Meanwhile, Chopper was struggling to maintain relevance. His recent singles weren't making waves, his streams were slipping, and no matter how many remixes or sequels he dropped, he couldn't recreate the magic of his earlier hits. At this point, it wasn't about pride or street credibility anymore. It was about numbers, momentum, and survival in the music industry. Chopper realized that if he wanted to get noticed again, he had to use YoungBoy's name as leverage. This strategy became obvious when he dropped Co. in October 2024. Almost immediately, social media blew up. Reaction channels, comment sections, and hip-hop blogs lit up as fans debated every line, every shot, and every move he made. The algorithm was doing the heavy lifting, and Chopper was riding that wave of manufactured drama to get attention. The problem? While this tactic brought temporary views, it also painted Chopper as desperate. The visuals, choreography, and spiritual quotes in Hello Revenge were all carefully designed, but they couldn't hide the fact that the entire project was built around controversy, not creativity. Even the opening line quoting Genesis 1:1 felt forced, like it was meant to frame a spiritual battle between him and YoungBoy, instead of delivering a genuine artistic message. Then Chopper started dropping bars like, "They say YB better, who I'm the proof that ain't no statement," clearly aimed at YoungBoy. The theatrics were undeniable. Billboards in Baton Rouge, over-the-top visuals, choreographed dance moves. But it all came off as desperate rather than powerful. Every detail screamed manufactured drama. YoungBoy, on the other hand, maintained his silence. He had already set the precedent. He doesn't give energy to those who don't matter. His response, or lack thereof, was a calculated statement. Silence, in his case, carried more weight than any diss track Chopper could drop. Beef Scandal followers could see it clearly. Chopper's tactics might grab views, but they didn't build credibility. To understand the full story, we have to rewind a little. In 2018, Chopper was just a young Memphis rapper, deeply inspired by YoungBoy. He was remaking tracks, studying flows, and adopting the intensity and raw storytelling that defined YoungBoy's style. His stage name, No Love Entertainment, mirrored YB's Never Broke Again, symbolizing admiration, not conflict. But as Chopper began gaining recognition, the dynamics changed. By March 2019, tension started brewing. People around Chopper went on Instagram Live, talking reckless about YoungBoy, calling him fake. Chopper tried to calm the situation, but the damage was done. YoungBoy, known for defending his respect, didn't stay silent. He jumped on his own live, calling out the disrespect, making it clear that such behavior wasn't tolerated. Chopper, caught between loyalty to his crew and respect for YB, tried to smooth things over on live, reaffirming his admiration. But in YoungBoy's world, letting your circle disrespect him is already a crack in trust. Fast forward to June 2019, the incident with Quando Rondo in Houston changed everything. Violence escalated, blood was spilled, and Chopper's attempt to navigate both sides only made things messier. He began attaching himself to artists who didn't align with YoungBoy, including King Von and Lil Durk's circle. The alliances were strategic, but they added fuel to a brewing fire. When King Von passed in November 2020, Chopper publicly mourned, but those public displays were now under a microscope. Every move had consequences. In January 2022, things blew up further. YoungBoy released Bring the Hook, dissing King Von. Chopper jumped into the conversation by agreeing with Reese's comment, choosing sides he was never supposed to be involved in. This one interaction shifted the energy entirely, positioning him against YoungBoy in the eyes of Baton Rouge and hip-hop fans alike. 2 days later, YB dropped No Like I Know, and the track was chilling. He brought up Chopper personally, referencing his mother, past relationships, and even lifestyle choices, turning a musical diss into psychological warfare. Chopper went silent for years after that. Instead of responding, he focused on wellness, meditation, and spirituality, a complete pivot from the tough persona he once portrayed. But the damage was done. YoungBoy's career continued its upward trajectory while Chopper struggled to regain momentum. By 2024, Chopper reignited the feud, dropping Co. and later Hello Revenge. All the dancing, spiritual quotes, and dramatic visuals couldn't mask the fact that this was manufactured content designed to grab attention. Social media buzzed, reaction channels covered every line, and the algorithm rewarded the drama. But while temporary attention spiked, his core brand weakened. Fans could sense the desperation. Beef scandal followers saw the pattern. Chopper's moves weren't about artistry or expression anymore. They were about relevance. Every shot at YoungBoy was a calculated attempt to boost views, but it came at the cost of credibility. Authenticity is everything in hip-hop, and this was lacking. Even YoungBoy's camp, including his mother, didn't acknowledge Chopper's actions. Reaction channels treated him like a joke, and his own fans began questioning the strategy. Temporary spikes in views were not translating into long-term success. It was like a sugar rush, high energy for a moment, then a crash. At the end of the day, Chopper's situation shows a bigger lesson. Sometimes the biggest threat to an artist's career is their own desperation. Instead of building his music, creating original content, or carving out a unique lane, Chopper chose controversy. And the streets, the fans, and the algorithm see right through it. The psychological impact is just as important. Idolizing someone only to be threatened on a track, staying quiet for years, and resurfacing only when your career needs a boost. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Chopper's moves might grab views temporarily, but the real test is long-term credibility. Meanwhile, YoungBoy's silence continues to speak louder than any diss track. The industry reaction to Chopper's moves has been fascinating. Major blogs and reaction channels are treating it like pure entertainment rather than real beef. Fans flood the comment sections with memes, jokes, and takes that often mock Chopper more than analyze him. Even some of his own supporters are starting to question the strategy. Are these diss tracks authentic or just a clout chase? Chopper's release pattern proves the latter. He dropped Co., then almost immediately followed with Hello Revenge. Within weeks, every video, post, and interview referenced YoungBoy. This is not organic tension. This is manufactured drama. Beef scandal viewers can clearly see the formula. Attach yourself to the most talked-about artist in the game, provoke reactions, and ride the wave of algorithmic promotion. But here's the catch. This approach has long-term risks. While the temporary spike in streams looks impressive, it does little for establishing Chopper as a serious artist in his own right. Attention may equal short-term views, but credibility builds careers. And on that front, Chopper is losing ground. Look at the numbers. Chopper's latest tracks hover barely above 1 million views, while YoungBoy effortlessly pulls tens of millions. His monthly listeners on Spotify slide downward while YB's fanbase grows. That stark contrast tells the story. Chasing clout won't close the gap. Fans respect originality and authenticity, and the streets can smell desperation from miles away. Another critical angle is psychological warfare. YoungBoy's tracks are not just disses, they are precise, targeted, and often hit where it hurts. Chopper's public image, once built on toughness and street credibility, has pivoted dramatically to wellness, spirituality, and self-help. While positive for mental health, it also reflects how deeply YB's words affected him. Beef scandal followers can see the transformation. The same Chopper who once aligned with heavy street narratives now promotes meditation, healthy eating, and positivity. That shift, though admirable in some ways, exposes the vulnerability and the influence YB still has over him. Chopper's strategic alliances also tell a story. Aligning with King Von, Lil Durk's circle, and others not aligned with YoungBoy seemed smart at first, creating networks, connections, and potential protection. But the death of Vaughn and the fallout of these connections complicated the narrative. Every action has consequences, and in the world of hip-hop politics, missteps are amplified. The central theme here is this: admiration can easily turn into desperation when someone's career stalls. Chopper went from being a student of YoungBoy's craft to someone relying on his rival's name for attention. It's a cautionary tale for any aspiring artist. Beef scandal viewers should take note. Industry recognition, personal branding, and originality matter more than fleeting views or viral moments. And here's something else. Social media amplifies everything. Every post, every billboard, every choreographed dance move becomes evidence in the court of public opinion. Chopper's attempts to mix artistry with attention-seeking backfire when fans see the inauthenticity. Even reaction channels highlight it, sometimes unintentionally teaching lessons about what not to do in hip-hop marketing. Now, let's talk about the lessons for Chopper and other artists. First, consistency matters. Creating music and building a fan base organically ensures sustainability. Second, authenticity is non-negotiable. Fans in the streets value honesty over theatrics. Third, clout chasing might give temporary numbers, but it rarely builds a legacy. And finally, timing and strategy are everything. YoungBoy's silence, strategic responses, and massive career trajectory show that control over your narrative is a powerful tool. Beef scandal followers. The bottom line is clear. Chopper's story is not just about beef with YoungBoy. It's about the struggle of maintaining relevance in an industry that rewards innovation, consistency, and authenticity. Shortcuts might offer temporary spikes, but the real long game requires skill, originality, and credibility. The final piece of this puzzle is the psychological impact on Chopper. Idolizing someone only to be publicly disrespected, staying silent for years, then resurfacing only when your career needs a boost. It's a roller coaster of emotions. That psychological weight can shape decisions, public image, and even future creative output. And fans watching this unfold in real time can sense it. Every move tells a story beyond the music itself. By understanding this saga, beef scandal viewers see the difference between manufactured controversy and authentic street tension. Authentic beef carries real stakes, emotions, and consequences. Manufactured beef, no matter how flashy, often exposes desperation rather than strength. So, as we wrap this up, here's the final takeaway. Chopper's career trajectory is a lesson for aspiring artists. Admiration can turn into resentment, influence can lead to overexposure, and desperation can cloud judgment. Beef scandal followers can see clearly. Chasing clout rather than building artistry may offer temporary attention but risks long-term credibility. Stay tuned, because in hip-hop, the game never sleeps. Lessons, drama, and stories unfold daily. And as always, Beef Scandal is here to uncover the truth behind the chaos.